All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. We're talking databases. And in particular, we're starting off with the MySQL Relational Database Management System, or RDBMS. I wanted to quickly give you a couple URLs so that you could take a look at what's going on here. Here's the first one. And it's the one I actually have showing up on the screen as well behind me. Pump this up a little. Oh, I guess that was it. Right. So here's the first one. Come on. All right. https://downloads.mysql.com/docs/refman, which means reference manual, 5.7, which is the version, EN, which means it's in English, and PDF. Now you'll notice that's 5,280 pages long. All right. And you can see that it's broken up, general information, etc. And with 5,000 pages, you might think, well, there must be a boatload of chapters in there, and there are. But when I look at it and I break it down into all the different chapters, you'll see that there are 4 appendices, A, B, C, and D, but there are 28 chapters. And if we do the math here, see, that brings me to about 4284. Says that each chapter is an average of 153 pages in length. This is literally the language in a nutshell. It's more information than you could ever fathom, to be honest with you, at least in one sitting. But it's a good thing to take a look at. All right. There's a nice MySQL tutorial from Tutorials Point. And there's plenty of really nice tutorials out there, but I've gone through this before, and it's pretty nice. And that's there. Okay, www.tutorialspoint.com/MySQL. And I think that if you click there and you grab the PDF version, you just click PDF, download PDF MySQL tutorial. That is 100 pages long, much easier to fathom than something that's 5,280 pages long. Then we've got a W3 Schools tutorial. Well, I want to come over here to tutorials, and I want to find somewhere over here, Learn SQL. Now, this is not specific to MySQL. It's more generic, so it's generic SQL tutorial, but it'll get you started as well. Now, if I'm going to do this, but I won't do this often. If I type MySQL into Google, it comes back with 153 million hits. All right. If I go to mysql.com, that's kind of the main home page for MySQL. All right. But I want to get back into, because we started talking now. And I want to show all of this. So we said insert. Remember, insert is one of our DML, or data manipulation language, commands. We said insert into, followed by the name of our new table. Then we gave it our field names, which were dep number and dep name, and then the values for those. And notice I've got null for all these because I let the system add them. So I put null in there as a placeholder, and the system put in 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, accounting, shipping, payroll, receiving, accounting, shipping, payroll, receiving. So that's the information that I wanted. Okay. Now, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add the second table. So I'm going to say again, insert into, and again, I'm using, the keywords are in caps, but you don't have to do that, departments. That was departments. How about we'll call this employees? And this will have all the fields that we looked at in our spreadsheet in it. So this will have all of this stuff. All right. Now I can't insert in yet. I was going to do that, but why can't I do that? Because I haven't created the table yet. All right. So I'm just going to come in here. I think if I do a \C, that cancels the current command. So I want to create my second table. Well, let's take advantage of what we already know. Here's the field names that I at least plan on using. So I'm going to grab those and I'm going to put them in here. I've got a first name field, an initial field, last name, address, city, state, zip, and department number. Well, one thing about using these field names, you can't have blank spaces in there. I believe that it'll take underscores. So I'm going to have first name, first underscore name, and then we'll make the next one middle underscore initial, and we'll make the next one last underscore name, and we'll make the next one address, then city, then state, then zip, then department number. But I'm going to put each one of these on its own line. All right. So these are going to be, when I build the table, these are what I'm going to have in there. And this is going to be a varchar, variable character length field, and we'll say that it'll be 30. All right. Middle initial, that'll be a char, where that's only going to be a single character. All right. So varchar was variable length character field. Char is a fixed length character field. Last name will be another varchar 30. Address might even have to be bigger than that, so that'll be a varchar 50. City will be a varchar, we'll make it 30. State, we'll make that a char, and it'll be a 2-letter state abbreviation. Zip, a lot of talk about this over whether zip should be numeric or non-numeric. I tend to make these fields non-numeric. The only fields that I tend to make numeric are ones I may use for calculations. So I'm going to make this a varchar. Why? Because we might put in like a zip code of 12345, or we might put in a zip code of 12345-678 or 4567. If I do that, I have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 characters. So I'm going to make that a varchar of size 10. And then finally our department number, and maybe we'll grow over time, so I'm going to make that a varchar, but I'll make that of size 3. So those are my fields. But when you look at it, I don't have a primary key field in here anymore. And there is no field that would really work very well for a primary key field. So I'm going to create my own. I'm going to call this ID. I'm going to make this exactly what we did before when we created our other one. So we said int auto increment primary key. All right, so I want to grab all of this stuff, copy it to the clipboard. You'll notice that if I do this right now and I come in here and I say show tables, that right now the only table I have in here is departments. So I want to add another table. So I have to do something similar to this. All right. So I've got my departments table. Now I want my employees table. So I'm going to come in here and say create table employees. Put my beginning parenthesis in here. And then I'm going to copy in all of that other stuff that I had. All right. And it's not going to work because it pushed all this stuff together like this. Morning. All right. So I'm not going to be able to add it in like that. So let's go back and do another create table employees. And we'll start to add our information in. Okay? So there's our ID field, which, as you can see, is an integer auto increment in primary key, so it is our unique record identifier. There's our first field. Next, we want first name, so we want to bring in our first name. First name is what we called it. It's a varchar of size 30. All right. And then we want our last name, which will be another varchar, again of size 30. All right. So then we want our address, which will be a varchar of 50. Followed by our city with a varchar, with a varchar again of 30. So you can see what we're creating here. We have our state, our zip, and our department number. So our state will be a char field of size 2. All right. You might have noticed that I forgot the middle initial field. So we'll go back and we'll add that in a bit. That's good because it'll give us a chance to use the alter command. All right. We have zip, varchar 10. And finally, we have the department number, which is a varchar of size 3. We want to end this. Okay, it looks like it worked. Now, if I do a show tables, now notice I have 2 tables. All right, if I describe, we did the departments table first. And that's what that looked like. But now we can go in and we can also describe employees. And you can see what that looks like. We'll look at all this other stuff, null, etc., in just a bit. And I can select star from employees. And right now, it's the empty set because I didn't put anything in yet. I can select star from my the other table, which is departments, and that has information in it. All right, so what I want to do is I want to come in and I want to be able to put all of this stuff in there. All right, but for some reason, when I'm trying to put it in, it is not preserving. It is not preserving tabs. So this is the information that I want to put in. right there. Okay? I want to put in those 10 records of information. So I'm going to set them up like this. Don't know if this will work or not, but I'm going to pause the video for a second and I'm going to put double quotes around each of these fields that you see here, except for the department. Oops, the department field. All right, so all the rest of them. Rather than waste your time and have you watch me putting in the double quotes, I will pause the video at this time. This is going to take a little bit longer than I guess I'd anticipated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the lecture here, go back, put in all of the quotes around here, and then attempt to add this second table in my next lecture, which will be coming up shortly.